goddamn children in the goddamn confinement.
Eureka.
We make plays every day, yeah. We make plays every day.
Make plays every day, goddammit.
We make plays.
Jamaicans had to stay home in confinement.
We make plays every day.
Blah, blah, blah.
Quarantine the Jamaicans.
Quarantine all my Jamaicans. Shout out to all my Jamaicans. See, that's the top part right there. Jamaicans. Yeah. Welcome to the Real Fantasy Playmakers. I am your host, Bogart Scott-Free, from the safety of my very own confinement. And right here on the line, we got my esteemed colleague from his very own safe Corona climate confinement. See what I did there? What's happening, Goo?
What's up, man? What's cracking? I can't see you this time. We had the video going last time. This time, we tied up a couple strings to a couple cans. We're gonna do it old school style. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Get it out there.
All right, so check us out, Goo. You know what I'm saying? I know you secretly in, the Area 51 doing some experiments. You know what I mean? How are those alien specimens responding to the COVID-19?
You know what? I haven't seen one yet. There's rumors that
Allegedly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's real out here. We're on lockdown.
Well, shit. While you're on lockdown, you need to go ahead and follow us at the GMM Network. Follow me at Bogart Scott-Free World. Follow my esteemed colleague, The Goo, at The Guru 408. Shout out to our sponsor, Milk and Honey. Go ahead and check them out, www.milkandhoneytx.com. Get you some topical, and that's what I recommend at least. You know what I mean? Or maybe some sensual lotions or something. You know what I mean? Get your relax on with some CBDs. You know what I mean? Fuck with the Milk and Honey. You know what I'm saying?
We can all relax in these times.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to our sponsor. You know what I mean? Jamaicans. Yes, the Jamaicans. You know what I'm saying? They're also in self-confinement. You know what I mean? And they refuse to get on the line just to hit the Jamaican horns. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? We got that going. Well, you know what? I want to open up right out the gate. You know what I mean? And, before we get into this free agency talk and that good fantasy, I mean, you are a man who is in the thick of it every day. You know what I'm saying? You work at a clinic. There's Corona all on the walls and in the floors and shit. You know what I mean? What's it looking like over there? You know what I'm saying? Like, as where it stands right now, does what you're seeing on your day job, is it matching what the media is talking about?
The hype of it is for sure. I mean, there's people that I haven't really come across anybody with it, but I mean, there is instances where people have been in the building in the urgent spot, urgent care and all that, where they might need a scan, but I mean, pretty much they shut down everything, bro. Like there's security at every door of the facility, and you get screened before you can go anywhere, even in the building. So that's how already up top they're doing it. And they're not even letting people out of their cars in some places. There's like a drive-through respiratory clinic, and you don't even let you out your car, and then they kind of screen you there. And the whole place is pretty much a ghost town. Like if you ain't got some real urgent shit going on, then if you had appointments, they're pushing them all out to June.
God damn.
You know what I mean? If there's some real shit going on with you, they're gonna scare you. But if you just on there on some routine shit, they're not fucking with you. It's got to be June, bro. Basically the whole place is just like a ghost town. There's like 10% of what there normally is in there. It's dead.
Damn.
For the most part. Super dead.
I'll tell you this much, Playmakers, you wouldn't see me out nowhere, because I'll be right here in my very own Corona climate confinement. You know what I'm saying? Rolling up.
I'm not scared of it, bro.
I know you're not.
Mask off.
You're a man's man.
Future on.
You're a man's man.
Mask off.
Listen, check this out. I was outside earlier today, getting some fresh air, because it's been a minute. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Squinting my eyes, because the sun is like, you know what I'm saying? And matter of fact, it was really just the UV rays, because it was gloomy. It was kind of sprinkling even. But I'm stepping outside, and then I look to my left. There's a gentleman. He's coming fast. Like, pause. You know what I mean? But he's super pause. Oh, Jamaicans. Pew, pew. This motherfucker, right? He's coming fast, bro. Pause. He's coming towards me. He's probably like 6'2". You know what I'm saying? Big as a bear, even. You know what I mean? Fuck it. He's 8 feet tall. He's coming. He got a mean stride. You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker's covering a lot of ground. I look for 1 second. He's getting close. I'm like, oh no, he's within my 6 foot bubble, bro. I take like three hops like a motherfucking like a goddamn triple jumper. You know what I mean? Just poop, poop, poop. You know what I'm saying? Get away. And he strides past. And then, like, I started OCDing like crazy. Oh, no. I was like, okay, well, he wasn't coughing or hacking up anything, right? So he was just passing by. But then I started thinking, yeah, but then, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I was sweating a little bit. Maybe not so much profusely, but enough where I wiped a little bit of sweat off my brow, right? And then I stuck my finger in the air to catch the wind. I was like, okay, there's a downwind. He was definitely with the downwind, and if he had the Rona, it could have floated through the wind and through the colder weather because the cold it could travel. So I've heard. You know what I'm saying? And that motherfucker could have got me. You know what I mean? I stopped, dropped, and rolled. I burned those clothes. I just threw them. I didn't burn them. I threw them away. I don't know.
You know what's funny is I actually believe that.
I would say paranoid or precautious, but we all know that's just regular old me. You know what I mean? But also at the same time, you know what I mean? Don't be crazy like me, because you know what I'm saying? I'm the type of motherfucker who was listening to one of my boys. He was just fucking. He was what's the word? He was just fucking with me. He was like, bruh, because it was out raining. I was talking to him. It was raining out. He was like, bruh, it's in the rain too, dog. Did you hear that? And I was like, what? I was like, no. I was like, no. What?
Where's my umbrella?
I was like, hey, shout out to Justin from Clock Management. He's from Seattle. He said it was bad. And I was like, oh my God, it rains in Seattle. I started thinking, yeah, it's just all bad. But you know what? Let's talk about something while we can talk about it, and hopefully we could bring this good positive energy for everybody to just listen in quarantine and just stay the fuck away from everybody, so we can raise this positivity and safety to bring back our football. God damn it, yes, and so people won't die and all that too. Yes, of course.
That matters, yeah.
Yes, but you know what I'm saying? For the sake of the content that we provide. You know what I mean? Right here on the GMM network, Jamaicans. Pyram, you know what I'm saying? That one's gonna be funny all show.
Love the Jamaicans.
Yeah.
Right now.
Okay, so let's just fire it out with the motherfucking free agency signings that we missed that actually got signed the day after we recorded our last episode. So let's go ahead and talk about this Melvin Gordon. Well, let's go in order. Let's go with the Todd Gurley first. So Todd Gurley lands in Atlanta.
Gets released by the Rams.
Yep.
Signs the next day by the hometown Georgia kid, Atlanta Falcon.
Mm-hmm. What you think about that? Fantasy. I mean, what's your reality take?
Reality is he got a 1-year deal for like $7 million or something. Correct?
Yes. Correct.
All right there. So essentially, it's just some hometown love. Atlanta's kind of in the transition period. They can use somebody that's going to put people in the seats. I don't know. I mean, he's just not going to be the guy who gets that bell cow load, like workload anymore.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a nice signing. It's a feel good story. I hope going home, he might want to run hard again because he got paid over there in LA and then he stopped running hard. They blame me. I get it, but he got paid. You run a little softer after you get paid.
He did get paid right before 2018, and he did beast out 2018. He just he tapered off because of that. That was the beginning of that injury.
Big time.
That was big time. Oh yeah, that was when they were like, they started knowing something we don't know. Where they were like, oh yeah, he got them knees. I said this on another podcast. His knee. He got old. His knees are like an elderly man as far as football, right? You know what I mean? As far as like wear and tear, he got old man knees. So in this climate, his knees they're susceptible to corona. Is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean?
For sure. His knees are gonna get quarantined for like half the game.
Yeah.
Every week.
Here's one thing. Here's one thing that I could say in reality that you could like kind of relate to fantasy is the fact that you pointed out he only has a 1-year contract. So maybe they run
motivation.
his ass. Maybe they run his ass into the dirt because they don't care about him next year. You know what I mean?
Exactly. He's got to prove himself. I think that's kind of how he's going to be playing. He might be on 1 year deals, maybe a 2-year deal if he really does something crazy this year. But I can see that. Yeah, 1 year going home. You know, he's going to be motivated. They can use him, obviously. I mean, you know, if he's Todd Gurley of old, hell yeah, Atlanta, they want that. So I mean, they're going to give him every opportunity to take as much as he can handle. You know, pause. But yeah, I don't know if he's going to hold up. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe he's going to hold up, but I do believe he's going to be motivated, more motivated than he was the last couple years in LA.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I'm hitting this weed, and then you said LA, and I just tied the two things together, and it shout out to our man Robbie from the Run Boys Fantasy Network. I forgot to mention it in the intro, but we are now proud to be housed under the umbrella of the Run Boys Fantasy Network. When I say this is the GMM network, but I'm talking about as far as us as analysts and us as content creators. We have another home, and they're guiding us. I want to just shout them out.
Much love.
Yeah,
much love.
Fuck yeah, because you know what I'm saying, our path that me and the Guru's path that we're on, it hasn't veered, and in this case, somebody is showing somebody's giving us a fast pass. Not necessarily like a cheat code, but just like, yo, this lane right here, you smashing in this lane. You know what I mean? And want to shout them out. So now back to the LA thing. So you were saying, so LA. So now what's the inverse of your man TG leaving? You know what I mean? Are we looking at Malcolm Brown? Are we talking about Darrell Henderson? Or are we talking are we talking about Darrell Henderson? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's going to be those guys right there, pretty much. I mean, I'm sure they'll grab another somewhat established kind of guy just to be in the mix, but
you think
yeah,
so?
Why not? I mean, I don't want to say like a guy that's really going to take care of you, but you're going to need a third running back. I mean, if I'm going into next year with those two guys, that's unproven to me.
Well, they still got John Kelly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's all unproven. It's a bunch,
you're right. True.
So I mean, I would like I mean, you know what you have in the building if you're a Rams coach or all that. But I mean, for me, what I see, I would like to have a third back just to have a little more depth in case those guys aren't as reliable as you might need them to be. You know what I mean?
Okay, so what about specifically in fantasy for Todd Gurley in Atlanta? What kind of rounds you think, like, minus the fact that some of these rookies, that running backs might land into a spot and start, like a circa David Montgomery last season, where like someone like me or like a Miles Sanders, where someone like me was like, was pushing them up in ADP. With Todd Gurley, just off the top of your head right now, you still think he's a third or a top three? What is it called? Let's say it's top third rounded up. There you go. You still think he's a top? What's that? 36 pick.
He's definitely not going in the first or second round. Third round, I'm really not feeling good about that. I could see him going in the third round, but when it's all said and done. But I'm not messing with that in the third round. I don't know. It's just too much risk, and you don't know what his role is going to be. You don't know how he's going to hold up. So he could have a big year. That's like one of those. That's someone in like the fourth, fifth round. Like
you want to know what this reminds me of?
Who?
This reminds me of a motherfucker who annoyed me for years because I always had him in the fucked up years, and it was DeMarco Murray. Like I had him in that one, had him in the 1 year at Dallas where he was the shit. Then the next year, I go ahead and I get him when he's with the Eagles. Doesn't do shit.
Right.
Then I go ahead and I don't get him when he goes to the Tennessee Titans, and now he actually had value at the time. He was like a 4th or 5th round pick, and he ends up balling out. And then I even hate him even more because I was a Derrick Henry truther, and he just wouldn't go away. That goddamn DeMarco Murray. But yeah, he kind of reminds me of this right now. Not age-wise or anything like that. Well, yeah, I guess you could say age-wise because Todd Gurley got some wear on him. So, you know what I mean? And he's not, he's not really going to, he's really going to a place that does more ground and pound, if anything. Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Atlanta will run it. They will run it. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
and he'll have a high. I mean, here's another thing too: is he's gonna have those 6-man boxes that we all love for our running back, because he's gonna have Julio Jones and
It's
Calvin
kind of
Ridley.
a good fit for him, right? Because Atlanta really wants to throw it a lot.
Yeah,
they
and
need to run,
and
but
they'll
you
get
can't. They're
down.
not a run-heavy team, so like just having a guy there that they don't, that they can give like 14 carries. He's like a 15 touch guy a week now to me.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't.
Yeah, so
I
would. So you RB1 or RB2, just to put a bow on Todd Gurley.
Oh, yeah. I mean, to me, he's borderline RB3.
Ooh, I love that. I was gonna say low end RB2, but you know what I'm saying.
I mean, I would feel the situation where I would feel good taking him is if I stacked up 2 solid backs out of like my first 3 rounds.
And he's your
Just
flex.
And you got a good receiver, and then you can go plug in a factor back over there in your flex.
Yeah.
That could with some upside. You know what I mean? Like that's. I don't know who I'd take him over. I really haven't broke down rankings yet, so it's kind of hard for me to like really place these guys on a round. But like, yeah, I mean, he's somebody I wouldn't mind being like my flex.
Well, I know it's hard to find to make rankings when you're hard at work in the lab trying to make the antibodies for the coronavirus. So you know what I mean. Our hats off to you. But
I'm just doing what I do, baby. You know what I'm saying? Just doing what I do.
Okay, so you basically would not love, but you wouldn't mind him as a flex.
Yeah, no.
Right? You imagine Todd Gurley as a flex?
That's happened, bro. That's happened.
Yeah, it did happen last season a lot too. When people were getting Todd Gurley in the 3rd round. Okay, well, you know who I would love to say is my flex is Melvin Gordon, and he's right. And in case, so check this out, Playmakers. Man, see the Jamaicans. This is where this would have been the one worth it for them to have him on the phone. The Jamaicans, right? Right before the news broke. You know what I'm saying? Our man Steamboat Joe here. You know what I mean? Motherfucking the goo. This motherfucker hitting the bong right now. You know what I'm saying? That motherfucker got a little light up too.
I'll smoke to that.
Yeah, this motherfucker, he's over here, right on the air with us. And Justin from Clockwork, shout out Justin from Clockwork. Our man Guru, while I fucking take forever to finally get it out because I almost forgot what it was even, is I legit did. He legit predicted Melvin Gordon going to the Broncos. And he even had it like he was like $2 million under what he actually undershot what he said they would pay him. He got the years on, he said $2 million. Or no, 2 years.
2 for 18. 2 for 18.
2 years for 18. Yeah, you know what I mean? And he got the 2 for 16. So, so I was never a Lindsey guy. I was a Royce Freeman guy, stupidly. You know what I mean? And then I was just completely off them after I seen a year of them. So their sophomore year was kind of a, it was something not notable for me enough to go return to that well. But now they bring over Pat Shurmur. You know what I mean? I love Pat Shurmur, when he has like an elite type, talent at running back. You've seen him with Saquon. We've seen him with Dalvin Cook. Who else? I could even take it all the way back to with Trent Richardson and Cleveland. God damn it. You know what I mean? Like
God damn it.
Right? And like Trent Richardson ain't, so this is why it's good to bring up Trent Richardson, because he wasn't really particularly any good after the fact. So, and Melvin Gordon is a talent. When I say elite, I'll say fantasy elite because of what he's done in the past. But we know he could be used in the passing game. You know what I mean? You're obviously going to pay a guy. You're going to run a system that normally only uses one running back. So now let's take it back to even when he had Dalvin Cook, right? When Pat Shurmur was there with Dalvin Cook in Minnesota, Dalvin Cook's the workhorse, hands down. He goes down. You know what I'm saying? Then they didn't have a guy that can do everything all in one, so he utilized the tandem. So and that was Jerick McKinnon and Matt Asiata. You know what I mean? So Jerick McKinnon,
Matt Asiata, good job.
So it would be McKinnon between the 20s, and then they would bring in what's his name, in the red, Asiata. So like I could see that being Royce Freeman, the Asiata, and Lindsey between the 20s, if there is no more Melvin Gordon, because I think they're paying Melvin Gordon. They're gonna and John Elway's never not trying to win, so they're gonna start out the gate. And it's Vic Fangio. We know what his pedigree is. defense and run the ball. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, I kind of like the fit only because it's Denver's just so trash that he'll get the work, and if he stays healthy, he's their guy. I mean, he's going to be their best player. So I mean, he's not electric and elite anymore, but he's still a pretty damn good player.
Yeah, but
and
like
his last year, I kind of write off because it was kind of shot by the whole holdout, trying all that. It kind of fucked up his whole year, like pretty much.
Yeah.
But I'd say so. Hey, he's not going to be elite anymore. He's someone right there. I'm throwing in like that third, fourth round category off the top of my head right now. But like, I mean, they need him, and Denver's just like I said. I didn't like have it written in stone that he was like he is going to Denver, but I literally at that moment I just looked at all the teams, and it just made sense that divisional team, and they're pretty desperate. Like you said, they're always really trying to win, and like they're cutting Chris Harris. They're not really paying nobody, but Von Miller maybe. So, he's going to get the run out there. He's going to get the run. And Denver they play tough. They run the football. They do run the football. Lindsey wasn't great, but, I mean, they were committed to that shit. So, I mean, I kind of like Melvin out there. I kind of like it. Might not be sexy, but, I mean, he might be like a Le'Veon Bell kind of from last year, but maybe a little bit better than Le'Veon was. But same kind of like not a glorified plotter.
And I think price-wise, because Le'Veon Bell, people were just so excited. He was still going in the back of a first round or early in the second. I think Melvin Gordon will be like, I think he'll be the back of a third, early fourth round, and I hope, I hope that's where he stays. You know what I mean? Because I would love Melvin Gordon as like, and I'm the type, I might fuck around and be looking at him as my third running back already in the fourth round because I'll just be running back heavy. You know what I mean? And either way, Melvin Gordon. I mean, if you can get 16 games out of him, at being like a 15 touch guy at your flex. And and he might get a few targets a game. I love it. One thing is though with Drew Lock in the small sample size with the old system there, he wasn't really throwing to the running back like Joe Flacco was. With to Lindsey or to Freeman. So I mean, but it is a system thing with Pat Shurmur. They throw to the running back a ton. So what I mean. I like that for Melvin Gordon. Well, you know how you were just saying about how you did kind of a process of elimination. So we have all these quarterbacks. They all went to different places. So by process of elimination, I'll say right now, since Rivers landed in the Colts, you know what I'm saying? Brady's with the Bucks. You know what I mean? You got Foles is in Chicago. So they're pretty much gonna still give Trubisky a chance. LA looks prime for Newton, and.
Talking about Cam, who got released today. Did he officially get released today?
Was that? Cause I was about to ask you because I think I might have seen that, but I didn't verify it yet because I think that's all anyone was doing is waiting for him to get cut. Ain't nobody was gonna trade for him coming off of multi years of injuries, getting off-season surgeries. You know what I mean? He's gonna have to earn it. You know what I'm saying? In this case, a team that's willing to take a shot. You know what I mean? In free agency, you know what I mean? Because he's not going to get traded for. And then Dalton is pretty much going to fall wherever he doesn't go. I think Brian Hoyer went to New England, so I don't know if Dalton, because I can still see Dalton going there, you know what I mean? Because he's kind of
Dalton to New England?
No, I could see that, yeah. Because they signed Brian Hoyer. So
right.
So I think that makes
I don't know if they're really going to be out there shopping for a starter, bro. They might really roll Jared Stidham out
No,
there.
that's what I'm saying. And I'm telling you, the Brian Hoyer, I was about to say the Brian Hoyer signing kind of screams that because it's a guy that already knows the system. You know what I mean? I think they're willing to take a shot with the young guy and build around him. You know what I mean? Go back, heavy defense, be a run team. It makes me kind of like Sony Michel and or at least just taking a chance at that run game again because they're going to run. You know what I mean?
That's all they're gonna have, but it was ugly last year. So I don't know how you get better.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know how you get better without Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but
that's true.
But maybe the element of
volume-wise,
not knowing.
I mean, volume-wise, and where you're gonna be able to get these guys, because you gotta remember there was a time.
No one's gonna be on Sony next year.
Yeah, no.
He's gonna be way low.
Okay, what else? Back to Cam. You think my Cam to LA makes sense?
Yeah, it does.
By process of elimination?
That. It's the only open one, and then the only thing I feel like is I don't know if the Chargers they really might feel like they got something with Tyrod, and he's on a cheap deal. He's probably making under $5 million.
Bro, I forget that Anthony Lynn spent time with Tyrod Taylor in Buffalo for years. And then when Anthony Lynn got the head coaching job with the Chargers, you know what I'm saying? Tyrod, on the other hand, he goes on to take Buffalo to the playoffs. So he's probably looking at that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, he had a good year that year. I mean, it wasn't great on paper, but like he was an effective quarterback.
It was just fucked up because remember they kept trying to do the Nathan Peterman thing. Remember?
Yes. So that was brutal.
That was the best.
Was that the same year they went to the playoffs?
Yeah.
What?
I'm serious.
That's wild.
That's 2017. That wasn't the last year they went to the playoffs because they went last year, but yeah.
But I mean, Cam is one of those guys. Like, all right, yeah, you're right. Like, where is he go? Where's a starting job for him? I mean, Miami might be an option there. Like you said,
I think
Chargers.
they love the Magic Man there. That's the one thing.
They can. I mean,
because
we all
they
love
brought
the
over.
Magic Man.
Well, you know what? You know why? It's because they brought over that coordinator that was with them in Buffalo and with them in New York Jets. So it's like, you know what I mean?
Here's why it makes sense to me. And it's not like I like the Chargers, but they have a lot of players to pay over there. Miami's not paying anyone over there. Like they got money to spend because they don't have any big time players or shit. And like Cam is a draw. Cam is an upgrade from Ryan Fitzpatrick, no matter how you really want to look at it. I like Fitzpatrick. I love him. But if you can give Cam a 2-year deal on that shitty team, and where he knows, because Cam is the type of motherfucker that is not going to want to sit on the bench.
No.
He's going to want to play. So wherever there's a starting gig and someone can promise him a starting job, he'll take that job or he'll take that spot, even if it's on like.
I could see.
I don't know.
I could see him going to LA and then losing out, like just like kind of like a Baker Mayfield and Tyrod, where it's like. They just kept saying Tyrod's the guy, and then as soon as Tyrod starts to tank.
Well, yeah, we all knew that.
Yeah, no, but maybe that's a bad comparison, but I mean as far as like the clearly better talent is going to be starting off on the bench. You know what I mean? Like if Cam Newton goes there, because here's the thing too with all these physicals.
That's why I don't think they would want to do that.
Like Corona's even lagging these physicals. Like
right.
You know what I mean? So maybe players might not even be able to get fully signed. Like, or I don't know how that work. If that's going to work in this case, especially with old boy Cam. You know what I mean? Like he's coming off surgery. You know what I mean? I'm wondering what kind of extensive workout he's going to have to give, as well as physical. I mean, I think that's why teams are waiting for him to get cut, because then it'll be easy to navigate all that stuff. Because you know what I mean? Like if you were gonna try to trade for him, I think they would try to keep you as blind as possible. Like, no, he's good. Here's our report. Says here's our medical report. Blah blah blah. You know what I mean? If he gets cut, you're gonna be able to do all that shit, thoroughly, or at least as much as you can in this Corona climate. Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Cammy's one of those guys that's a dicey spot. Or it's like, he wants to start. He thinks he's elite still. I don't know if he is. So it's one of those weird things. Like there's not really any. I'm looking at this. There ain't really anywhere he can go. I mean, the Redskins just traded for Kyle Allen.
Yep, exactly.
They're not fucking with him. No
boom.
one in that division. Daniel Jones, Wentz, and Dak. I mean, no.
This is a perfect segue right here to our man PJ Walker. Congrats to him in this Corona climate. He wins.
Friend of the show, PJ Walker.
Because he, and for those of y'all who don't know, he was like one of the backup quarterbacks for the Colts. They had drafted him a couple years ago. I mean, he was in the building with Andrew Luck and Brissett type of shit, if I remember correctly. I mean, I just remember, and he didn't go by PJ. I think he went by Paul or something like that. Whatever his name was, whatever the P stood for. Because now he goes by PJ Walker. He rebranded himself, went to XFL. He was basically the MVP of the XFL. Obviously, the XFL 5 weeks in has to get shut down. You know what I mean? And it's kind of a blessing in disguise because within that time period of the XFL going on, you had Matt Rule. He gets a head coaching job in Carolina. And I didn't really know too much about him, but going down the rabbit hole just a little bit, I found out that he spent 4 years with PJ Walker. So PJ Walker. Wow. Yeah, and here's the thing is like before
you're schooling me right now because I don't know nothing about this guy.
So before PJ Walker got signed too, it was the same day they traded away Kyle Allen, and obviously that's one of those moves where Kyle Allen, he ripped off 5 wins with what's his name? With Riverboat Ron. And Riverboat Ron over there with the Redskins.
That's right.
Yeah,
Think of that.
So that makes sense. And then so now you're bringing in what's his name, PJ Walker, who's obviously he got offers elsewhere too. I heard like for more money, like mind
Really?
you, yeah. And so you took less money because he knows like he'll be able to beat out a Will Greer, who's only tied to them because that former regime drafted him, so they have him for X amount of years, right? You know what I mean, without having to pay him shit. So they're bringing in this guy who knows the system. You know what I mean? Like this is like really interesting to me. You know what I mean?
Oh hell yeah! No, I mean that is really interesting, and it's good for the XFL too. If you think about it, man, that to have like a guy, their best player, just get signed right out, early in the free agency process, like that's good for him. That's good for them. You know what I'm saying?
When I was writing up the one sheet, and what I mean by writing up the one sheet for the show, I mean by like I was just voice texting just everything that came out to my head, like this is what we're gonna talk about. And I forgot, there's another guy, but I forgot to go look up his name. You know what I'm saying? But he I think he's the backup for the backup QB for the Chiefs now, or he's gonna be on their roster now.
He's an XFL guy. Not Matt Moore.
Yeah, not Matt Moore. But you know what's funny? Speaking of Matt Moore, damn, he got a ring. And
he sure did.
And he contributed to it too. He's a regular Brock Osweiler type. You know what I mean? Where you didn't just get one like a Garoppolo. Oh no, Garoppolo got one for playing that year too. That year.
Yeah, he kind of played. He didn't.
Well, Garoppolo got. Remember the first what was it? 2.5 games.
Yeah, and then he hurt his shoulder.
Yeah, exactly. So you know what I mean? Yeah, he contributed. So did Brissett in that matter. Then you know what I mean?
Exactly.
The grilled beef, the meat slab. God damn it, the grilled beef brisket.
What about you got something on that fine? I was going to segue off of him to another guy. I've been.
No. I don't got nothing on that Chiefs guy. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't even want to. I don't remember his name. He had like a complicated name. I think it started with a T. I forget. It's like Tuswala or some shit like that. I don't know. I might be wrong.
All right, so I can't take credit for this, but I like this call a lot right here. What do you think about Jameis Winston to Pittsburgh?
Oh yeah. I like that because. I mean, just the fact that, first of all, the fact that Jameis Winston's young. How about this? Jameis Winston is like Black Ben Roethlisberger if he threw more, like 4 times more picks. You know what I mean? Like he's kind
Absolutely.
of yeah, but also I mean I love that just because like we've seen
he can know he's going to have a job in a year or two because Ben is at the end. Ben, let's be honest. Ben, Rivers, and Eli, all those guys have got 1-2 years, and Eli's done already. But those guys are done. So I mean, you come over here, you get Mike Tomlin. I'm sure he would love some Mike Tomlin. You know what I'm saying over there.
Yeah.
Like you go sit your ass on this bench. You go learn from Ben, and when your time comes, then you will.
You know what? Nobody. Here's one thing. I'll give Big Ben this. Big Ben is in that category like with Brady, where it's like, bro, you're sitting behind me, and you ain't gonna learn shit, young. You know what I'm saying? You ain't learning shit. Oh, you want to learn? You know what you're gonna learn? How not to teach the next QB shit, motherfucker.
Big Ben is over that, huh?
No, and see, and that's why I think Jameis would be a good. I love that call. That's why I think Jameis would be dope in Pittsburgh, just because he'd be able to sit around till and assuming he'll get the job because of what you would have to pay Jameis to sit around. But a Pittsburgh is the type of place that might be able to talk Jameis into be like, just get a little bit of money, dog. You know what I mean? And then you'll get the starting job. You know what I mean? Because he's gonna
Absolutely.
He's gonna get. I
mean, there's really nowhere else for him to land. I mean, we're struggling on this.
Except for maybe.
Again, it's like the teams that
the
have
Chargers, but the Chargers definitely won't pay him. And the Chargers already they're putting their foot down. Like, yo, we got. See, here's the thing: they kept putting their foot down. Like, we got Tyrod Taylor, but I kept thinking that was just like, yeah, Carolina, stop asking us what we want for Cam. You know what I mean? Like, or I mean, what you want for Cam. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, and then just so they can cut him and it'd be like, okay, boom, then swoop in on Cam. But you can't really say that for Jameis because Jameis is young. You know what I mean? Like, he's not.
No injury history like that.
Yeah. You know what I mean? He got the LASIK going for him. You know what I mean?
So I mean, he's someone that's like, wow, he's gonna get signed. It's like he's not gonna be like just left out there. But I mean,
Or
like,
he's
it's
gonna
crazy
be
there's
backup
not many
to
spots.
Brady, dog.
No chance. No chance of that.
I mean, like,
No chance.
I'm trying to
I
figure
think
out.
he sent out a farewell thing in like the newspapers.
I forget
They
what it
agreed
is
with
though.
that.
I forget what it is if it was like, because I know it did have to pick up an option, so it'd be like 20 million or something like that, or 15 million, whatever it is, just to be a backup.
Not happening.
No.
Not in Tampa. Not in Tampa, Dane.
No.
But I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, there's really like nowhere for these guys to go now, bro. It's like if you go through I'm looking at just every division right now and just grazing over every team, bro. But Denver? You think Denver was going to bring in somebody? Denver might do it, bro, unless they really love Drew Lock.
I mean,
Do you think they love Drew Lock that much?
Okay, well, as far as old quarterbacks go, maybe you could say Cam qualifies because John Elway
Cam
loves
does.
him some old quarterbacks. He's like, look, the
He
older
sure
the
does.
better.
That's
And
what I'm saying. Do they love Drew Lock like that? Where it's like, nah, we're good. We don't need anything.
And you know what's funny? Is John Elway, he could probably talk himself into it like, okay, well, we beat him in the Super Bowl. He would have won it if it wasn't playing against my team. So he's great. Let's get Cam Newton. You know what I mean? It's the same way he probably looked at
Why
Flacco.
wouldn't they? I mean,
he looked at
shit,
Flacco. Flacco got a ring. He's good. He beat us in the playoffs. Let's go get him. You know what I mean? Like,
It's true. I mean, they love veterans over there. That's just a fact.
yeah.
They love veteran players, and especially like.
Hey, dude, if Jameis was in the Mile High
Jameis or
City,
Cam is going to Denver, bro. I'm calling that now.
I like it.
One of those cats.
And
One
then-
going there.
I really want to. I would love our man Infamous over there in L.A. for real though, for like Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, and I would love that. But like, it's just I don't see it being realistic. I see them, picking if they're willing to have a guy who's kind of, like T-Mobile.
You say Mike Evans and Keenan Allen?
My bad, Mike Williams.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Big difference.
You see, yeah, you know what I'm saying. You knew what I
I
meant.
heard Mike Evans.
Yeah.
I heard Mike Evans and Keenan. Oh yeah. Either way, I don't know. The Chargers. It's like I feel like they just got a lot of money tied up in a lot of guys.
Well,
I mean, they're gonna have to pay Joey Boats pretty soon. So like,
Yeah,
if you
so-
can avoid paying that top dollar quarterback,
So they're gonna
and
draft
just
their
maybe get somebody
quarterback.
on a cheap deal. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like, it feels like that's where they're going, but like, I just can't see them spending $20 million on a quarterback right now.
All right. Stop the presses. My man, not newly dubbed, but officially to be known from this day on out as the String Bean.
The string bean.
My
So
man
I'm
Robbie
calling-
Anderson, friend of the show, and he doesn't even fucking know it. My man, the String Bean, goes to Carolina. That's not good.
For him?
It's not good for fantasy, at least. Not for me to have fun and be able to throw him in as a wide receiver 3 and then like be like, yes, this is the week. You know what I mean? Because it's like he's gonna fuck it up for like him and Curtis Samuel, and they're gonna eat each other up. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna cannibalize each other. And I don't even know the system, so to speak. Obviously, if you remember LSU's season that just passed. Because it's Joe Brady there now. He's the OC. You know what I mean? 2 years ago, he was he spent time under Sean Payton. You know what I mean? And then he was in New Orleans, so he was like, hey, boom, he becomes the offensive coordinator for LSU. Has that Joe Burrow season, 60 touchdowns. You know what I mean? All kind of motherfuckers were eating. Like I'm wondering if Carolina is gonna be built like how we seen Arizona. Where it's going to be like 600 pass attempts for sure. You know what I mean?
Teddy Bridgewater's going to be throwing it 40 times a game?
I
30
mean,
to 40 times?
I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah, but
About that.
you know that a lot of it's going to be on the short dump offs and how's that team built as far as personnel. It's all yak guys. Your man CMC's there, DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel. They're all guys that are built for yak. You know what I mean? Maybe the field stretcher out of those guys now will be Robbie Anderson. You know what I'm
Do
saying?
you know Matt Rule's system? I mean, it came from Baylor. Isn't it like a kind of a wide,
spread
a
offense.
spread system?
Like a spread,
Right.
yeah, spread offense. Yeah, so you know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, we're seeing teams like, what's his name? Arizona with Kingsbury, where they're bringing the air raid. You know what I mean? Isn't Baylor's one of those schools that had the air raid thumbprint too? You know what I mean? So, I mean, correct me.
Right.
I wish we were live where someone could be like, "No, you're wrong about that." But as far as my knowledge goes, I think I might be onto something right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, we'll find out. It all kind of depends on what he's running out there. I'm not familiar with him at all, so I mean, I'm gonna have to look into that one a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, that's a decent little 3 receiver core, so I ain't mad at it. I just don't know about
because
Teddy.
they got my man, the string bean.
Nah, I mean, they got he's the 3rd receiver. No, but I mean, hey, we'll see what happens over there.
You're right. Well, our Manny Sanders.
Yeah, he bounced.
Saints now. God, I seen that already. So now this is a 2-part question. This is a 2-part question.
2 for 16, then yeah, go grab that.
Yeah.
Especially at your age, you know what I mean?
Okay, this is the 3-part question. So you that, in a nutshell, that's how you feel, right? Like fuck it, he left for the money.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't mad at him.
Right?
He goes get the check.
Goes to an immediate contender, gets to play with Drew Brees, yada yada.
Exactly.
Second part.
Makes sense for him. Sense for him.
Question number 2. How much is this gonna affect my Michael Thomas PPR? Like, I mean, as far as like
not much.
Yeah,
a little
okay.
bit, but not much.
Okay. Not like that. Okay, because this is what I'm thinking is like, they still are an extremely efficient team as far as like how many times a game they pass the ball versus like running the ball. I mean, last year was kind of a kooky year actually, because you know what I'm saying, you had the quarterback changes, so maybe we throw that out the window. But yeah,
yeah, no, I mean with him, I mean I don't know off the top of my head. I can look this up in a sec, but if they have Ted Ginn and Traquan still, I think they have Traquan still, but I mean he's gonna just be one of those guys. Like he'll be just a grab and go guy. Like he'll get a couple catches here and there. I mean, he's not gonna be somebody who's gonna be a volume hog. Like Michael Thomas is gonna get his, bro. Like that's
okay. Well,
first of all, Emmanuel Sanders, even on our team. He was struggling to get receptions.
I say this because he will. Manny Sanders, heir. See, first of all, I don't know why he's taking the money, right? Because he's the heir. No. Hold on. He's the heir to the KFC empire. He got a ton of money, all kind of buckets of chicken. This motherfucker wants more money. I just think it's selfish. And you know what? Fuck him anyway. You know what? How about this? He didn't run fast enough. He wasn't tall enough, and that's why he got overthrown. How about that? How come you're not 10 feet tall? When Jimmy G...
Sour. We're sour.
Yeah, he didn't overthrow him. How about, anyways, he's eating his chicken. Now he's eating Popeyes. See? I'm telling your uncle.
Yeah. Yes.
Anyways, right? So, like, my man Frankenstein, I have him number 1 overall. You know what I'm saying? Like, if as far as receiver coming off the board in redraft this year, if fantasy God willing, we get football this year. You know what I mean?
Right.
I have him coming up number 1, right? But now with Manny Sanders there, I don't know if he could finish number 1. Still strong top 3, obviously, right? There's no way he's not with the amount of targets he's getting. Well over 120 targets for sure. I don't think he'll do like 160 or whatever the fuck it was this year. But DeAndre Hopkins, and mind you, this is I love it when I can't prove something. I'm going on mostly just some unseen hype. You know what I mean? But I could base it in this case where they are a team that's gonna for sure throw like 650 times for real. You know what I mean? And like, he's always been a guy who it's like he gets peppered with targets, and I've seen him catch from every single type of quarterback you can imagine. You know what I mean? Where maybe he doesn't get peppered all the time, but he's gonna get enough if they're gonna throw the ball like 60 times a game.
Yeah, 60 times a game.
Yeah.
Oh shit! All right, so I'm gonna let's look through these.
Maybe like let's say they're gonna throw at least 50 times a game. I'm getting crazy there. 70.
No, settle down. Looking at just some of the little free agency moves out here. Anything notable? My boy Brashad Perryman, he went to the Jets. I hate that, but I love it at the same time.
Look at him trying to steal the green beans of roll. We've all Listen, listen, fake green bean. Okay, the fake green bean. He knows he did well enough to get paid, and he knew
1 year deal for $6 million. I don't know. That's not.
Well,
not
like I said,
great.
just paid in general. Now he's a millionaire. I don't think he's ever got paid
True.
no kind of M's. He was a first round pick, so you know what I'm saying, for the Ravens, if I remember correctly. So he did get some bread in the beginning of his career, but
Yeah.
he needed to prove something. He proved it with Jameis. He got himself. He parlayed that to a deal with the Jets 1 year, but it's Adam Gase. Adam Gase is just not. Man, no one's fantasy viable. I can never pinpoint anyone.
Yeah, no, I mean, Sam Darnold's another year older, a little wiser. Maybe, I think Rashad Perryman is better than Robbie Anderson. But,
How dare you? How dare you?
I'll fucking say it. He'll be the Jolly Green Giant. Fucking Jolly Green Giant, Rashad Perryman.
Nah, dog.
You know what I mean?
I'm trying to tell you, dog. This nigga, Robbie Anderson's on keto, dog. You know what I mean?
We'll see what happens. Let's see what else is notable here. Peyton Barber got a 2-year deal. That's fucking crazy. So all right. So yeah, that
hey, Jameis, everybody's getting deals, but Jameis. He's like, look, y'all, I've been shining all y'all up.
Hey, that just made me think. What is Tampa doing? They're just rolling out Ronald Jones and they're good. I don't know about that.
They're gonna no.
About that.
They are crazy. They're crazy. They're gonna first. I mean, I want to say first round because I'm even crazier. But they're in these top 3 rounds. They're gonna get a running back.
They have to, right? That's what their plan has to be.
Ronald
Jones. I mean, there's nobody really left on the free agent market. There's not too much out there.
Devontae Freeman.
I mean, maybe
it could happen.
Brady would be cool with that.
A second chance given motherfucker is Bruce Arians. That's why like Ronald Jones will get a shot first of all, in my opinion. He'd be like, look.
He'll get a shot, but I mean they're gonna have other guys.
I'm just saying though, because of Bruce Arians' nature, he'll be like, all right, young blood, show us what you got. You know what I mean? Show me what I believe. You know what I mean? Like he says all the right things. You know what I mean? And then like he also says the right things like, yeah, Ronald Jones just wasn't in the flow today, so you know what I mean? So and so got all the work. You know what I mean? Like,
ride the hot hand.
Yeah, and whoever that so and so is, I might kind of want him. Maybe not if it's Devontae Freeman. I'm kind of good off that because he's a concussion away from like dying for real. You know what I mean? Like
hey, I mean it's a veteran. They're gonna go the veteran route. You know what I mean? They're gonna start just getting guys that are ready to win.
They're gonna Tampa Bay is gonna end up with Frank the Tank.
That's fucking great. He's unsigned, right? For sure.
For sure. He's just gonna be in the building, dog. Like you turn the lights off, all you see is teeth. You know what I mean? Just there's Frank.
Green Bay signed Devin Funches. That's not a nothing.
That was not the green bean. You know what I mean?
No. Let's see who else here. What else? What's his name? Travis Frederick, 29, retired.
Yeah, this is let's break this down a little bit, bro. Like, remember Dallas was always like, what did Dallas try to do? What does Jerry Jones try to do? Always tries to emulate the '90s. So he tried to have his triplets, but in order to have his triplets, they had to build their new Great Wall of China or Dallas. You know what I mean? And like they had that for a minute. That's why like, you know, it kind of didn't matter. He was kind of arrogant, like, yo, Dak's good. You know what I mean? But now they start to think, okay, well, anybody could be good behind this line. But then soon as like I can remember several games where I'm streaming defenses against the Cowboys when Fredericks was still out, or even like whenever what's the other dude? They have their left tackle. He's also beastie. Like that fool was always be hurt too. Where it was like I could pick on them now with DSTs, and like you know you also seen the run game take a hit. You know what I mean? Like it makes me like even the fact that they don't really throw to the running back a lot in that system with Kellen Moore last season. Then you couple that with what's his name with the new with McCarthy over there now. It's like man, I might even just not fuck with Zeke. You know what I mean? Just because I don't want a running back that's You know what I mean? He's probably gonna peak like 15 touches at most a week, but he's always gonna get you that 12, 13. But you're looking for those 2 targets, hopefully. You know what I mean? Because they're gonna be like a hurry up offense team. They're gonna, you know what I mean? A lot of more no huddles. They were already doing a ton of that last season under Kellen Moore, and we seen Zeke take a hit. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, that's an interesting take there. Interesting take. What?
I'm just fucking with Michael Gallup. That's probably the only guy I'm looking at in Dallas this season. You know me, I get kind of cut and dry sometimes, and then I'll miss out on guys I should be looking at. Like I just almost put them on a don't. I'm not gonna fuck with list, and I might not be having too much Zeke, unless like Zeke's falling at the back of the first round, which is not gonna happen. That team, that star, makes there's too many fans of that star, even when they're not a Cowboys fan. They just, you know what I mean? They think of dominance and running when they see that. And you know what I mean? So he's going to go top 6. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm looking at one other guy, minor deals here, obviously.
It's
major,
all good.
but, your boy Eric Ebron, he's Panhand. He's 2 for 12 in Pittsburgh.
Man,
my
man frying pan hands. Yeah, because in Vance McDonald, he restructured his shit and then extended him.
Fuck Vance McDonald.
Yeah, no,
bro.
I'm just saying that, like, you know what I mean?
Ronald McDonald, too. All of them.
All of them. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to In-N-Out Burger. But frying pan hands is there. I mean, it's just been years that people are trying to make whatever tight end like into Heath Miller for some reason. You know what I mean?
I was a Heath Miller guy. Not big on him, but
so that's why you're the Vance McDonald guy to a degree.
It's just carrying over. I'm a Pittsburgh guy. I'm actually a low key Pittsburgh homer.
That's dope. I'm not mad at that.
Low key.
Same way I am with the Chiefs. You know what I mean? Like
Chiefs too. That's not low key.
But in the Andy Reid years in fantasy, it made me become and because of Andrew Luck, I was a Colts guy. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, for sure.
Okay, well, you know what? Before we close this up, let's talk about like our guys, man, our Niners, man. What, you know what I'm saying? With our 13th overall pick, to talking about the Colts, all that just made me think of it. You know what I mean? You think we're gonna go receiver? Like all the hype.
And I mean, if CeeDee Lamb or Judy are there, it's gonna be interesting. But I mean, those are the only 2 guys that they can take. Right?
I get scared of like just having another option and it just mucks it all up more for any kind of receiving option besides Kittle, because of the fact that it's hard to pinpoint whoever it is in our backfield. And then couple it with the fact that is Jimmy G going to be able to, are they going to let him stretch the field finally? Because I think Jimmy
the Niners are going to draft a fucking defensive lineman, a linebacker or a lineman in that spot.
You don't think we're going DB? I was going to say I think we go DB if we don't go receiver.
I don't. They brought Jimmy Ward back. They got I think they still got some decent depth in the secondary, but I mean you just traded Buckner. You need to replace Buckner.
Sherman exposed himself. And I think
he got beat a couple times, but it wasn't like he was the reason we lost.
It was in the it was in the playoffs by Diggs and also by Sammy Watkins. So it's like, these are in big moments. I'm just saying, like, you don't think they go younger cornerback, like, you know what I mean? There's some hitters in this draft class.
Let me see who my boy Charlie Casserly is mocking right here. Well, I think what he has
Charlie
13th pick. Let me see what Charlie's talking about. Let me see. 13th pick, CeeDee Lamb. Well, that's kind of a chalk, like.
I would love that. He's like DeAndre Hopkins. He's like Michael Thomas. I fucking love that.
I would love it too, but I just feel like Shanahan he's not.
I think Shanahan. For that. I think Shanahan. I've seen him evolve too much. Like be able to fit his game to like for example when we seen Matt Ryan become a hell of a passer. Not that he isn't already. I'm just saying like they utilize that facet of his game. You know what I mean? Like when it makes me think about Jimmy. Like, damn, dude, is Jimmy just not the greatest passer? Like, is that something we don't know that he does? Because then it's like, cause look when we had Nick Mullins. You know what I mean? Granted, we were it was a lot of throwing to the running backs too, but it was still like these bootlegs and rollouts. Like, if I want that for Jimmy, and I'm hoping like coming off this ACL, he'll be able to, you know what I mean? They'll be able to get him moving around and draw those call those plays for him. Because then it's like, I would just love Jimmy. Like the more weapons we get from, then I would just start looking at him late in fantasy, especially in 2 quarterback leagues. You know what I mean? Like if we get him another, like maybe it worked that way for Jimmy. As far as like the massive differential or difference. I try to say different, hella more professional. The differential, anyways, between our pass volume versus our run volume was hella different. It was hella what's the word? Lopsided. Just because, you know what I'm saying, we didn't really have weapons to begin with. We brought in Sanders and then, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. You know where I'm getting at though, right? Like maybe we add weapons. We had a weapon, I think, maybe, how about this? In a nutshell, because I keep stumbling all over my words. In a nutshell, I'm probably just looking at Kittle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we are kind of desperate for that second receiver, bro. So, I mean, if they view it as that big of a problem, then, I mean,
if we go
they
young,
might go grab him.
If we go young stud, which we should, because we need these motherfuckers that we can't pay yet. We need that to do that so we could pay Kittle. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's why Buckner got shipped out. That's
Exactly.
the only reason.
You know what's funny? I love this. Oh my God! Thank you, Charlie Casserly. If we get CeeDee Lamb, now we could call Buckner the sacrificial lamb because we basically need, you know what I mean, just to get more weapons and that makes us a big deal in this draft. I mean, come on, you know there's a higher
The 13th pick is solid. That's a great pick.
Yeah, and there's a higher probability we trade for more picks. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying
they could do that with the 31st pick.
Yeah, that's true. Very true, my friend.
That was my original kind of feeling that they're going to go grab a baller here at 13, and then that 31st pick you ship for a second and a third and maybe a
and then you get the
another
depth.
fourth.
Cause see, yeah, you're right. Maybe we do get linemen because maybe DJ Jones, maybe he is just, you know, they're looking at him like depth, not someone. You know what I mean? I mean, I think he'll be a solid replacement. You know what I mean? Like but
He's
you're
going to
right.
have to be.
Yeah, that's right. That's true.
I mean, you obviously know something about your team if you're going to, you know, let Buck go like that. And just, you know, like they got some interior linemen that were good that were kind of like no-name guys. So, I mean, that Buckner really was just an interior lineman. If you're going to pay one of those guys, you know, $15 million a year, like, if you can find their replacement, they're probably paying those guys. Like,
and he got his
million.
bag, man. Shout out to him.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. But that was sharp. I mean, but they paid Armstead. It just shows you how much they value the edge. Like those edge rushers are the guys that like those are the ones. Those are the ones you need. Even the D tackles are nice to have those guys, but like the edge rushers are the ones getting broke off.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. I mean,
but I like Buckner over there on the Colts too, man. The Colts are gonna make some noise.
Yeah, you know, and they're gonna have Rivers to be able to sustain some drives. You assume, you know what I mean? Behind that line, like I'm excited to see Rivers behind this line. I actually have a respect for him how durable he is. Cause he's
like Iron Man.
And you know,
for sure.
You know what's fucked up? If it's the reverse, where it's like for Andrew Luck, he played all those years behind a bad line. They actively and consciously were building that line for him, and then they built it, but it was 1 year, and he got to test drive it for a year, and then it was one of the top 3 lines as far as all metrics across the board, and then he has to retire because ironically it wasn't enough. He was still getting beat up, so Andrew Luck retires, and that'd be fucked up if Phillip Rivers goes there, and then this line just starts to fall apart and shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
They got like 4 fucking first rounders or some shit like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, they're solid. They're gonna be decent. I think they're gonna be decent this year. They're gonna be a playoff contender for sure.
Yeah. Well, shit. You know what I mean? Is there anything else you want to lead the fine playmakers on? Because I think we've pretty much covered it all.
We just out here. I just came over here, just to chop it up and give my 2 cents. My expertise. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know.
You know what, dog? Hey, you know what? You're the first person who told me. You're like, bro, you're an analyst, bro. Because I was just like trying to like, oh, I'm just a motherfucker who loves this shit, and I smoke and drink and like talking about the shit and blah blah blah, this, that, and the third, all that, right? And then we start diving into this world, And then I started looking into the industry. And it's like you literally got fools that are called like the fantasy football stoner or the fantasy football rapper or like
Everything exists.
everything that I am. Then you know what I'm saying, but it all exists. And then it's funny because I was talking to you saying this one time, and you're just like, nah, bro, you're an analyst. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like, and it's funny because shout out to the Rum Boys. They were saying the same thing to you, like, nah, bro, you're an analyst, bro. You don't have to throw the air quotes. And I'm saying all that to say that you're an analyst too, my brother. Like we're doing this thing.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
And like some analysts do, we're just analyzing. You know what I mean? And like even if God forbid this shit doesn't continue, like we're still gonna be putting out content because you know what I mean. Like this thing is just what we started is something that we all, me and you, also in separate in our lives that we wanted to do something like this, and I'm just happy that we're doing it. You know what I mean? Like, and it's
hell yeah,
and it's
dream
crazy.
Come true, brother. It's a dream come true. You know, it is. I never thought I would be talking the heavy football in late March. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what we do it, baby. This is what we do it. You know, I do it tough when it's on, but we here because we want to be. You know what I'm saying? We just rapping, and it's a dream come true for sure.
And
for sure.
In the goddamn Corona climate confinement, we're trying to squeeze out some content. It's and there you go, hella alliteration. I'm consciously trying to create more content in the goddamn Corona climate confinement. Oh, look at all that. It's alliteration.
Say that again. Say it again.
I said I'm consciously trying to continue to create content in the goddamn Corona climate confinement. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yes. I'm glad I recorded that so I can remember that shit. That's a motherfucker. That's a motherfucker
double
right
down
there.
on it.
Say that.
Like, double down on
yeah, because and every time you said say it again, I'd add more to it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
They need to get the don't fuck with this. Don't fuck with April or August. You know what I mean? Just get this all right by August, and everything's good.
Yeah, and for real, right. I'm gonna stress that to all the all you young playmakers out there. You know what I'm saying? I know. You know what I'm saying? A lot of our followers on IG too. We got a lot of adolescents. You know what I mean? All y'all motherfuckers is partying and shit. You know what I mean? Like y'all just know that you guys can carry that shit and not be symptomatic ever, even. Not just like for a while, like just not even be symptomatic or even be, feel that shit ever. But you could just carry that shit and spread it. That's the scary part, because then you think you're cool, you've been straight for a couple months, you traveling, you know what I mean? You're going visiting motherfuckers, shaking hands, kissing babies, you know what I mean? Going to, God forbid, you're going to fucking volunteer at a goddamn senior citizens home, and you just fucking you become a mass murderer and you don't even fucking know, you're just going to spring break, goddammit. You know what I mean? And I'm glad spring's almost up at, not up out of here, but like, the spring break aspect of it. Because then it's like things just need to really calm down. If motherfuckers can just get like Bogey right now, like Bogart is just mad chilling. Like I'm telling you, I was fearful of this dude walking, downwind towards me. You know what I mean? That's how safe I'm trying to play it. Where it's like if I get it, granted I probably already got it. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? A couple times over. You know what I mean? There's a couple, like even you were claiming that you might have had it. You know what I mean? I don't know if you were joking, but I was like, cool because, you know what I'm saying? I don't smoke the hell with you. And I've been sick a number of times, like here and there, but it's like, it's just, I am, quote unquote, younger and healthier than, motherfuckers that are dying from the shit. But then also, check this out. It made me want to, I was texting my mom, like, what's my blood type? Because I found out that, like, people with blood, O blood type, them motherfuckers is like, they have more natural antibodies to fight the shit, and they don't get affected as much or at all even. You know what I mean? In some cases, but then like type A or negative, A negative or all that shit, they're the most susceptible, or they get hit the hardest. You know what I mean? Mind you, I'm not a doctor. I do play one on this podcast. You know what I mean? But,
there it is, Dr. Bogues.
Yes. But yeah, with that said, you know what I'm saying? Everybody just stay safe, wash your ass, follow us at the GMM Network. And mind you, wash your ass with antibacterial too, even if they don't even do it. Sanitize the ass. You know what I'm saying? You know what? We need to get. You know what? I think. I think I forgot to mention because I was just about to close the show, but we did have one special guest. He wanted to come through and say a prayer. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I wanted to introduce the Dr. Reverend Leroy Jenkins.
He's in the building.
Yes, young brother Joe.
Who?
Yes, this is Leroy. This is the Reverend Doctor Leroy. I'm coming to you from the safety of my confinement, and I want to say, may God bless the fantasy Jeebus to come and take the Corona from the earth, and give back football to the analysts of the world.
Rodriguez, I didn't expect you here today. This is quite a surprise.
Yes, Brother Bogey, he is a rather disturbed young man, and I had to come splash him with the fantasy holy water from the River Jordan.
It sounded a lot like you morphed from Bogey into Father Riggins.
Yes,
there was a transition that happened.
Yes, I'm actually transmitting from the body of Bogey.
This is the Father Jenkins spirit I'm speaking with?
Yes. Only
Is this an exorcism? Is this an exorcism on the air, bro?
No. Yes. It's technically
a reverse exorcism.
Yes, because the damn Corona took me out. I am rather elderly in my time doing the Lord's work in the physical nature.
I can't be talking to you no more, Father Riggins. You're going to get me sick, man. I don't care. I can't risk it. You have to go.
Yes. Just bathe in the waters of the River Jordan.
Oh, I will do.
Yes.
I will do it.
Yeah, whoa.
Bro.
That was out of body.
Hey, whatever you smoking over there, make sure you save me some of that. So next time
you ever seen how high? You know what I mean?
Did you just smoke a finger, bro?
Oh, yeah, that was creepy. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, weird times going on right now. You never know.
Yes.
That Corona, that damn Corona.
The Corona climate made me conjure the spirit of the late, great Dr. Reverend. See, you know what's funny is he passed away. You know what I'm saying? He was a Niner fan, actually. And, in the Super Bowl.
How ironic.
He had a heart attack in the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? His last words were "run it," like the waters of the River Jordan. But yes, follow us at the GMM Network. Follow me at Bogard Scott Free World. Rest in peace, Dr. Reverend Leroy Jenkins. You know what I'm saying? Follow my esteemed colleague, the Goo, at the Guru 408. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Rum Boys. Tune in to us. We'll be making periodic guest appearances on the Friday night shows. That's on the Rum Boys Fantasy Network YouTube channel. Also on Sportscaster, all that shit. We in the building. We part of the team. I love it. I love it. There. Oh yeah, we got GMM Give Me Money t-shirts on the way. We got all the shit. You know what I'm saying? They're guiding us. You know what I'm saying? They're guiding us like the waters that flow in the River Jordan. You know what I'm saying? I think he's forever a part of me now.
The spirit lives within you.
Yes, of the fantasy Jeebus. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, I hope that's not fantasy blasphemy. You know, it's funny. I'm getting all these cold chills in the studio, but then I started realizing, oh yeah, that's right. I got the door open, the window, and all the shit open, and the air draft coming in. You know what I'm saying?
Thought it was kicking in.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. That's kind of scary. I gotta go get like 17 Hail Marys. You know what I'm saying? Like like Aaron Rodgers and shit. You know what I mean? Let's go.
There you go.
Subscribe.
All right, my man. Hey, good work. You know what I'm saying? We'll check in, sometime next week.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, Playmakers.
All right, my man.
For sure, Goo.
We'll see y'all.
Be safe, Goo.
Yeah.
Stay beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You already know. Subscribe to this joint. Go ahead and leave a comment. You know what I'm saying? Talk some shit. Tell us about how you hanging in Corona climate confinement. God damn it. He over there hitting the bomb.
Yeah, I wanted to end on a high note.
I like that. I thought you hung up already.